Hey, what's up guys? It's Phantaram here, and I'm making this video for maybe the fifth time or so, I don't know, but it's I'm going to make a video about everything to do with Sorc's combat abilities. I'm going to go through all these skills in Awakening and Pre-Awakening, just from top bottom. I'm going to go through everything I know about Sorceress and explain different options and skills and such like that. I have a skill add-on thing activated so I can spec in and out of abilities to sort of show everything off. So let's just get to it. So we got Dark Split. Sometimes when I have 0 mana and no mana pots on me, I'll use it to get some mana back and then Dream of Doom. And that'll pop all my mana back if I'm fighting a pack of mobs. But if you have mana pots on you, or if you manage your mana right, you won't even have to use this ability. So moving on, Flow of Darkness. If you just use it normally, you get a 9 evasion. If you spec into it a little bit, you get 15 evasion. Totally worth it. You get a little bit of extra damage and mana per hit by upping it too, but not a big deal. Next we have Darkness Released, which if you're not spec'd into this, you do down F. It's not far. You're not going anywhere. So you should spec into it, and then you're moving real good. And the reason this is good is because you know, if you're night crowing for mobility like such, or you're doing some other kind of mobility that uses up stamina and you run out of stamina, you can just use this. You know, I want to go that way, I turn around and it doesn't even hardly use up mana. Like such a small amount of mana that it doesn't even matter. So it's really good for mobility and you don't use your stamina. Darkness Release, this is not an ability I've used, but from what I've been told, the down smash and air smash properties make it to where if the target is already CC'd, this will keep them CC'd longer. So if you're doing a combo and then they get knocked down, whoops, and then you Darkness Released, you'll keep them down longer. But a consequence of using this that I've heard people talk about is that it desyncs your target. I have not used this to know how much that happens or if this is worth using, but if you do use this for comboing, you can put your points into it, and yeah, you'll do more damage with it in your combo. I'm personally not going to mess with that right now. I'll try it out in the future when I experiment for PvP. This is Sharp Nails. Whoops. I don't use it personally, like, ever, so just gonna skip it. Midnight Stinger, Ultimate Midnight Stinger. This one's important. Let me take some abilities out of something else here real quick. So this is a point that some people don't use. I would personally use it. I think the only reason to not put points into it is convenience, ease of use, and I'll show you why. Basically, if you don't have a point in it like this, and you hold down Shift and then hold down E and then left click, you get Dream of Doom, and your Midnight Stinger does not cancel it. You just get it. But if you have the point in here, watch what happens when you hold down Shift and then you cancel your Dream of Doom and you get Ultimate Midnight Stinger. So how you avoid that is you just let go of Shift before you hit left click. So like so. As soon as this comes off instant cooldown, I'll do it. Like that. This comes out just fine. So as long as you get around that little mechanical difficulty there, you should be using Ultimate Midnight Stinger, because Ultimate Midnight Stinger makes it where if you use Midnight Stinger anywhere, anytime you're doing an ability and you press Midnight Stinger, it cancels it. Just anything you're doing, you can cancel it. So super good. I would definitely use it. Here we go. Shield of Darkness gives you some DP. Take it. These two abilities are pretty much useless, Sinister Energy and Absolute Darkness, but while you're leveling, you can take this Black Wave ability. I would use this until you hit Awakening, and after Awakening, you might as well not even be using that ability. It's might as well be in your Scythe, but good for leveling otherwise. Next we have, whoa, where'd it go? Sinister Shadow. So if you put points into this, it makes this like little movement part of it go farther. And it also increases the critical strike rate that you get for 10 seconds, but you don't need that because it doesn't overlap with Midnight Stinger, which gives you 40%. So the only reason to put points into it is to make it go a little bit further. So honestly, if you have somewhere else to put your points, put them there. But if you have the points to spare, why not? It might be an ability you use once every hour, but if you want to put some points there, then you're good to go. Shards of Darkness. So this is a pretty important ability. You definitely want to max it out. When you get 3 shards over you like this, and you press Q, you get a 20 AP buff. And when you hit mobs and stuff, you get more shards. And so this Spirit Absorption points right here will just increase the amount of shards you get, so you should take those. But something interesting about this Q buff is that it will cancel any ability you do. So for example, if you do Bloody Calamity Q, it'll cancel the Bloody Calamity. I didn't do it there. But when you Q, you can C cancel right out of it. So Q, forward C, violation, like that. So if you're ever doing a Bloody Calamity or any ability in Amulet and you want to go straight into a violation because some of your other abilities are off cooldown that can get you into violation or whatever, you can do that. I'll wait till Bloody Calamity is off cooldown here and I'll show you an example. So you could like Midnight Stinger, Bloody Calamity, Q, C cancel. Boom. Good stuff. Next we have Dark Trade. You sacrifice some health and you get some shards. It's really good. You should use it. Moving on, here we have Claws of Darkness. So some people set it up like this because they don't really use it for damage. I think there are certain situations that you can use it for damage over other stuff and it's actually good. It's actually really pretty darn good. So I'll talk about those situations right here. And the alternative is Dark Flame for this situation. So let's say you have a Scythe out and you Midnight Stinger, like so. You cannot switch to Scythe for another like second and a half after you come out of Scythe. So you need to do something while you're in Amulet. And so something that kind of fits perfectly is Midnight Stinger, 3 Claws of Darkness, back into Scythe with a forward C cancel into Violation. Super nice. Like I said, alternatively, you can Midnight Stinger, Dark Flame, C cancel Violation. I simply think you're going to do more damage with Claws of Darkness. It's not as safe because Dark Flame can block for you, but it is more damage. So in PvE, it's totally good. And if you're ever in a situation in PvP where somebody CC'd and you do that, where you Midnight Stinger, you're going to get more damage. So like a theoretical situation is you do this, 3 Claws of Darkness, boom. So I like the points here, but you can take them out if you need them elsewhere. It's fine. Dark Flame. This ability is huge for Sorceress. Like I said, it has the frontal block. It doesn't even need to be on cooldown for the block. I'm pretty darn sure of that. So you can just always advance forward with a frontal block. If you don't hold on to L and R like that, and you can let it bounce back like this. But you can cancel that bounce back with any other ability, like Night Crow, or well, that's Night Crow. This is Rushing Crow, or Midnight Stinger. So it's a very good mobility skill. You just have to combo off of it to make it an ability mobility skill. I kind of missed Rushing Crow, so we'll go back to this now. Rushing Crow. So there's some choices here where you can either take the flow or normal. So we'll discuss the flow first. So the advantages of flow is that it gives you super armor and it switches to your Scythe, but you have this this recovery time at the end. Actually, both of them have the recovery time, this and the normal one. I'll show you the recovery time in the normal one here. So it has some recovery time there, but there's different ways to smooth out that recovery time on both of them. The only way for the flow to get smoothed out is to Night Crow. So like this. What you'll do after the Night Crow is instant turn backslash. So that's a pretty good combo for CC, like this CCs, and then so does turn back slash, and you're super armoring into an iframe. So a super safe way to try to see some CC somebody. But alternatively, you can just have this regular Russian Crow, which doesn't have the super armor, but it goes straight into violation with the C cancel, which is super nice for PvE. It's just going to be more DPS to do this over what you do with the flow Russian Crow. So yeah, you can spec into either of them. I think both options are completely fine. It's just whatever you prefer. They both have their very slight advantages and disadvantages. And then we have Ultimate Dark Flame, where if you keep going with the Dark Flame, it does this like AoE knockdown, I think it's called. Yes, a knockdown. Yeah, it says it maintains the frontal guard, so that's nice. You can keep the frontal guard going for longer by continuing that. So now that we're done with that, moving on to Scattering Shadow. So normally, if you press F, which is the command for both of these, you do the low kick and then the high kick. But low kick is garbage, doesn't do anything for you, so what we do is we lock it, and we only use high kick, which is called Scattering Shadow once you upgrade it. And if you press F, it doesn't do anything, so you put it on your bar to be able to use it. And it gives you this nice little magic accuracy buff. But it's also one of the better CCs in the game. Let's see if I can find some monsters. It floats people, which can give you some air combo damage. So for example, Shadow Eruption is an air attack, and so is Night Crow. Or Crow Flare, my bad. So you can do something like Scattering Shadow, Shadow Eruption, Crow Flare, and into Beat Kick. And Crow Flare, Shadow Eruption, with the air attack, do 2.5 times damage to a floating target. So, like that. The Shadow Eruption comes out instantly from the Scattering Shadow. Oh, I didn't have it. So yeah, it's huge damage. And then right after, they'll still be CC'd after you do those two abilities like this. They'll still be CC'd and you can go straight into your Scythe abilities, and it's just going to be a ton of damage. Probably the juiciest combo you can do on Sorceress. So inspect this Crow Flare real quick. So yeah, that's Scattering Shadow. Definitely take it. You can use it to pre-buff, you know, like you do this, and then this, and then this, and boom, you have magic accuracy, evasion, and critical hit rate. And everything you do is magic, so it's just accuracy for everything. All these are pre-buff skills. So, yep. Moving on, Signs of Agony. You can just kind of make your PvP opponent dance. Probably pretty good in large-scale PvP because you can actually hit something, but people can dodge it pretty easily, and it's completely useless for PvE, so take the points out if you need to put them somewhere else. Otherwise, put them in here for the rare time you use it. Doesn't matter too much. Not that important of a skill. So moving on to the most important skill that Sorceress has, Night Crow. It cancels abilities with Ultimate Night Crow, so you can, you know, you can just go all day and just Night Crow ability, Night Crow ability, Night Crow ability. As long as you have stamina, you can do that. So, and it also makes you invincible. So it's pretty darn good. It has iframes on it. It will consume shards over stamina with Crow Food here, which is really important. Like, if you want to Night Crow and you're out of stamina, consuming shards is great. Just to get the Night Crow off. It's perfectly fine. Something else I want to talk about here is that there is a difference between Night Crowing sideways and back and forwards. So, for example, if I Night Crow forward and then Shadow Eruption has the full startup, and it doesn't come out very fast. But if I Night Crow sideways and Shadow Eruption, it cancels all of that and just comes out instantly. So like, see, it just comes out so fast. So you only want to use Shadow Eruption after a Night Crow if you do it sideways. Another thing that's odd is if you Night Crow forward and C cancel into violation, comes out just fine. Forward C cancel into violation works. But if you try to do a sideways one, looks like that. Super ugly and very slow. So if you do a sideways Night Crow, you want to do a down C cancel, which isn't as fast as a forward C cancel, and it doesn't do damage as much if you have that on cooldown. But, oh, see, I messed it up there. But if you do a downward C cancel, you still come out of a sideways Night Crow pretty smooth into a violation. So there's a bit of differences there between the forward and backwards Night Crows, and, well, forwards and backwards are the same, so you can still do the C cancel out of the backwards Night Crow, but the sideways and forwards and backwards are different from each other. So moving on to Storming Crow. This has more iframes, and it comes off of Night Crow. But you don't have to do it the same direction. You can do it any direction, so, you know, go back the direction you came or whatever. Something to note here is that if you do a backwards or sideways Storming Crow, you cannot forward C cancel out. You have to do a down cancel. So I'll do a sideways one, down cancel, violation. But if you do a forward one, you can C cancel out of it just fine. Forward C cancel, that is. And forward C canceling is what you want. So much faster, much smoother. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I've watched some PvP videos where it really seems like the forward C cancel actually blocked. I'm not for sure, but I've seen somebody who sit there like that, and they seem to not take damage. And that's the forward C cancel you want right there, the uppercut animation, just like that. Okay, moving on to another really important ability that some people don't take, Ultimate Crow Flare. So at the point you have Ultimate Crow Flare, which is E, and you have Ultimate Midnight Stinger, which is Shift left mouse button, you are extremely conflicting with Dream of Doom's input, which is Shift E left click. But even if you have both Ultimate Crow Flare and Ultimate Midnight Stinger, which is one of the reasons I'm remaking this video, because I just had it done and I uploaded it and I was like, oh wow, I discovered this. I need to remake the video to show this off, because you can do Dream of Doom with Shift E with Ultimate Crow Flare and Ultimate Midnight Stinger. So here's how you do it. And the reason I'm explaining this is because a lot of people use Dream of Doom from bar, because these abilities conflict with the Dream of Doom input so much that they can't do Dream of Doom with Shift E. And the reason they do this is because if you do Bloody Calamity and you try to cancel, I didn't do Bloody Calamity, but if you I'll show it after this. If you do Bloody Calamity and try to cancel with Dream of Doom from your bar, it's not gonna work. You're gonna get something like this. It comes out way late. But if you press Shift E, you can cancel abilities with Dream of Doom. So I'll cancel a Shadow Eruption here with Dream of Doom. See? Perfect, perfect. It just, as soon as Shadow Eruption hits, I start casting Dream of Doom. And I'll show you trying to do it with 2. See? Takes forever. So you want to press Shift E. And at this point, there's no reason not to press Shift E. If you are using Dream of Doom from your bar, you're simply not playing optimally. It's not too far from optimally, but it's not optimally. So if you want to play perfectly, you want to use Shift E. And here is how you do it when you have Ultimate Crow Flare and Ultimate Midnight Stinger spec. You have to press Shift, then press E, then let go of E, and then let go of Shift, then right click, or left click. That might sound hard to like consistently do, and if you're gonna have too many errors executing that, then I suggest speccing out of Crow Flare if you want to use Shift E, or speccing into Crow Flare and just using Dream of Doom from your bar. But it's completely possible to Dream of Doom with both of the ultimates, with both Ultimate Crow Flare and Ultimate Midnight Stinger. You just Shift E, let go of Shift, left click. You just got to do that rapidly. Works just fine. So realistically, for Sorceress, if you're a perfect mechanical player, there seems to be nothing that you should not take as a Sorceress. if you have the skill points, you should take every single thing that Sorceress has. I used to think that taking Ultimate Crow Flare conflicted with Dream of Doom so much that there was actual build choice where you could not take Crow Flare and use Shift E, or take Crow Flare and use it from your bar. But it's completely realistic to take Crow Flare and use Shift E for Dream of Doom. See? It's just going to take some practice, and I still, like in the heat of combat, I still might mess it up sometimes, but I'm completely willing to practice to be able to use all the abilities that Sorceress has. So let's see. We kind of skipped a few here, right? Because we're on Crow Flare, and we started talking about Dream of Doom, but that's important. So now that we've covered Crow Flare, which is maybe one of the more important things we've talked about in this video, let's go on to some less important things. Mark of Shadow. You could spec this and it would do more damage, but the damage is pretty negligible, and it slows down the targets. So you typically don't want to spec into it because you want the targets to come to you fast. Like this ability is good at pulling because it's like a chain lightning. And in order to get it off instantly, you can do Sinister Shadows like that, and it'll come out instantly at the end of that. Boom, boom, boom. Or instead of doing the command it tells you to, which is Shift right click, see it does that little like. Instead, you just press right click Shift. You almost press them at the same time, but you still press right click first. And it comes out completely instantly. So anyways, yeah, don't put points in that. Shadow Eruption, put all the points in here, even the ultimate one. The ultimate of Shadow Eruption is another great ability to Q cancel, so you can Q cancel. Oh, I didn't Q cancel. Whoops. I'll show that again in a second when it comes off cooldown. But yeah, Shadow Eruption, you can combo it off of this to make it instant. Just a really good ability. If you have the add-on for it, it gives you 10% cast speed and a dot, which is just some of the best stuff. Like dots are really good in PvP, and cast speed's amazing for everything. I mean, just casting stuff faster is good. So anyways, let's do this. Like that. After the ultimate Shadow Eruption goes off, you can Q cancel and C cancel into Violation. Super useful. Abyssal Flame, charge it up like this, you fire it, it does a little bit of damage, it knocks down PvE mobs, and it heals you. I would never suggest casting it like that, it's a waste of time. Instead, do a backwards Nightcrow into it. If for any reason you are backwards Nightcrowing in PvE, then you might as well fire it off. It doesn't waste too much time at all, and it heals you. So that's the main thing there. If you need to get a little bit of life back in PvE, you can use that, as well as Buddy, Calamity, and Dead Hunt, which we'll get into later. And there's Dream of Doom, which I've talked about plenty now because it's so it conflicts with these other abilities, Midnight Stinger and Crow Flare. But yeah, put all your points in there. Great ability. It's got a ranged knockdown, I believe. Yeah. Inflicts knockdown on good hits, which I guess that means like they have to be near the center or something like that. And the rest is all passives down here. Take them all. Passives are great. So moving on to the Awakening skill tree. Karzhan's Scythe Awakening, that's when you press C and you swap. You know, there's a few different animations you get. Like, the main one you want is that uppercut again. Right there, you just sprint, C, Violation, like that. That's another quick cancel into Violation. You don't even have to use an ability, just sprint, C, Violation. The animations you want to see are either this one or the forward C cancel, like that. Those are the best ones. If you're getting something else like this, whoops, not that one. If you're getting something else like this, that sideways thing, that's bad. You can do some stuff off of it, like I think you can do an instant turn backslash. But yeah, there's really no point in me telling you about that because you can get forward C or down C off of anything. Karzhan's Protection is down C, but while you're in Scythe, you press right click, you get it. It says down attack, so if they're downed, it does more damage. floating if a hit lands. So I think that's pretty rare that you could float somebody in PvP with that, but maybe it happens. But the main thing is you can Car Chance Protection and then Violation. So if you press W right click, Violation takes a lot longer to start. So what you should do is right click W and the Violation will come out much faster. So Car Chance Protection and then Violation. Shadow Leap, just super good mobility skill. It's forward F, and you can come out of it with this. If you left click, it comes out with with that slash, which cancels straight into Violation, like so. So basically, it gives you the same attack as if you're sprinting with the scythe out, and you attack into Violation. So Shadow Leap, left click, Violation. Kind of how you do a Violation straight out of Shadow Leap. Next we got Grim Reaper. You just press E and it makes you Super Saiyan, all these buffs. Scythe Training, if you have leftover points, you can spec here. Neutral and forward left click are pretty much useless. One thing I will say is that if you catch yourself in forward left click for any reason, you can Violation out of the twirly part. I didn't get it. Like that. Sometimes I've mistakenly got to this and then I can Violation out of it. It's not an ability you want to use, so you don't want to do neutral and you don't want to do forward. But this ability is very useful because it makes you invincible in PvE. And it does a little bit of damage, so if you have the points, you can spend points here and make this do a little bit more damage. But honestly, it's not going to impact you much at all, and you can take the points out of there and put them somewhere else if you like, and you're not going to feel much different whatsoever. So, if you got the points, spend it. If you don't, don't. Dead Hunt. This is kind of like instead of doing neutral left click or forward left click, down left click is what you do. This is the strong ability. Dead Hunt. When you use it off cooldown, it life steals. So if you do the whole sequence of abilities, all 4 attacks, 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll life steal a lot of health, and you can cancel it with Car Chance Protection. At any point, third strike, Car Chance Protection, you can just keep going. So since Car Chance Protection combos right into Violation, you can do stuff like that. Also, if you do Violation out of the second hit, you don't have to do Car Chance Protection, like that. You just do the 2 hits of Dead Hunt, and then forward right click. That's useful because if you have 100% and you try to do this, you're going to get the 100% right there. So if you have your 100%, you want to do that. A lot of people only ever do the first 2 hits and then go into their abilities, but I think in some situations the third hit's good. It moves you forward a decent bit, and it does weak damage all around you, but it does good damage directly in front of you. It just takes a little bit longer, but I think there are definitely certain situations in PvE that you can use the third hit wisely. Next we have Violation. This is just our bread and butter skill that pretty much Nightcrow and this skill are pretty much what the class works around. This is our big damage. It has a block, it has mobility. Something crazy is that the spin, all that right there, floats, and the attack itself is an air attack. So it CCs floating, and it's an air attack, so it does 2.5 times damage. That's crazy. It combos with itself. Violation is just nuts. It's a frontal block when it's off cooldown, so it's got an 8-second cooldown right now. It goes into a 7-second cooldown, I believe, at level 60. 6-second. 7-second right now. 6-second cooldown at level 60. So, quite useful block. Something to note is if you do Nightcrow, Storming Crow, forward C cancel Violation, That's a pretty darn good combo. You don't have to worry about dying during it because you'll be iframing into a block. So pretty safe sequence of abilities there. Next we'll go to turn back slash. When you use that, it sucks them in. And to get an instant turn back slash, which is just you use the very last hit of turn back slash where all the damage is, you can Night Crow, boom, turn back slash. You can also forward C cancel, instant turn back slash. But if you just get the instant turn back slash, it doesn't suck them in, it just does the big damage. But this full animation sucks them in like that. So if the mobs you're fighting aren't grouped, you definitely want to do this. So a sequence of abilities I do in PvE a lot when my bigger damage is off cooldown. I'll two dead hunts, violation, 2 dead hunts, violation. But if they're not grouped, I weave 2 dead hunts, violation, turn back slash, 2 dead hunts, violation, turn back slash, 2 dead hunts, violation, turn back slash, 2 dead hunts, violation, turn back slash. But like I said, if they're not grouped, you don't need to do turn back slash, because it's not going to be as much damage if it's off cooldown than dead hunt and violation. So if they're grouped and turn back slash is on cooldown, you can just do dead hunts and violation, and then if it's off cooldown you can hit them, or if they're not grouped. You can just keep it simple and just do this sort of sequence of attacks if you don't care to keep it too optimal. It's kind of what I do most of the times. I'm pretty lazy grinder, and it doesn't make too much of a difference. You can just 2 dead hunt, violation, turn back slash, 2 dead hunt, violation, turn back slash. You can just do that forever, and it's tons of DPS. Grim Reaper's Judgment. Oh, we gotta find some mobs. I think there's some this way. Oh yeah, there's the trolls. So this ability, you can you just hold down both clicks, and when it charges up, you can press spacebar and it uses 10 shards and charges up again. And as long as you hit a target, and this is important, if you hit a target with a charged up attack, then you can cancel into it with either a turn back slash or car chance protection violation, like so. But if you don't hit anything, you cannot do that. And that's important to know, because if you don't hit anything, you want to get out of the recovery because you're vulnerable. So you can just, you know, do something like this, like I'm trying to hit somebody in PvP, I miss, I don't hit them, you cancel right out of it with a Midnight Stinger. Or you can cancel out of it with a Night Crow too. So, you know, something like that. Pretty good. It just one-shots PvE mobs, tons of damage, one of our best skills. Great. It's really good. Karshan's Nightmare. Every time I've used this ability, it's slowed down my grinding. Every single time. I would much rather just do the dead hunts, violation, turn back slash stuff. It's more DPS, you're mobile. Karshan's Nightmare pretty much just is not good to me. It does have super armor, so there is an application you can apply. Lol. When you do your 100% like this, and you got the black hole going, you can Karshan's Nightmare and hit everybody inside the black hole, and you'll have super armor, which means I think the only thing that can happen to you CC-wise is get grabbed. So you're pretty safe. It's a pretty safe way to kill the people that are in your black hole without dying yourself. So the super armor has applications. It says stiffness to enemies around you, so maybe it has better PvP applications than I think, but in PvE it slows you down. Don't bother with it. Blade of Darkness. This is one of the best PvE skills for DPS if mobs live a long time. Like on a boss mob, you can just throw these on a boss mob, and for the time you spent, you're going to do the most damage of any ability. So you're going to be wanting to use it on cooldown on boss mobs if you have the shards for it. It's also really good for living, because it aggroes mobs. Something I really like to do is I'll throw it one way. If I'm surrounded by a ton of mobs, I'll throw it one way, and then I'll Grim Reapers behind me to eliminate everything behind me, and then I follow the blade. Since you can only pull 8 things at a time, you'll kill everything behind you, and then you'll follow the blade and kill some more stuff, and it'll be really nice. There's a few ways to get it out efficiently. Like, you don't want to just do this. That takes way too long. So you can Nightcrow, like I've been showing. It's on cooldown. You can Nightcrow into it, like I've been showing. This one I can't really get consistently, but you can do this sideways slash here, like this. Like that. Yeah, I got it first try, thank you. I never have trouble with that, it always happens. Wow, I'm getting it, but for some reason I can't consistently do it, and I grind. But I mostly just Nightcrow into it. Let's see. Oh, Nightmare. This isn't an ability I've used much because, like I said, I haven't PvP'd much. I haven't PvP'd much. Hopefully I said that right. But I've PvE'd a lot, so I don't use it much. But obviously, it's an amazing skill. Like, it stealths you. You can get behind opponents with it. It says stiffness at the moment you appear behind an enemy. That just sounds so good. And a knockback if the scythe attack lands. So it sounds really easy to combo. You know, like this, Karshan's protection, violation. Just hit them up. You know. There's probably plenty of other things you can do. Like that's on a long cooldown, but you can probably come out of it with a Midnight Stinger into the juicy air combo or whatever. I don't have Flow Requiem yet because you need level 60. Vile Plan I don't have specs because I just don't know what to do with it. It makes you seem very stationary. Oh, and also somebody on my stream pointed out that you can't go into Grim Reapers from a block without getting it. So that it's kind of a conflict here between Grim Reapers and Vile Plan. Because if you go into this block and you try to Grim Reapers, you're gonna get Vile Plan every time. So I don't have that spec for now. When it comes off cooldown, I can unspec it. One instance that Karshan's Nightmare might be useful in PvE is if you're doing like Aukman and your friends round up a bunch of dudes and you have Revived Nightmare. You can just be real lazy and just hit some mobs up for a long time. But I still think Violation, Dead Hunts, and Turnback Slashes is probably more DPS overall. Like the AoE on Karshan's Nightmare is just not big enough. I've never used Flow Cry of Darkness, so I'm not going to bother talking about that. And I think that's pretty much it. That's mostly what I wanted to talk about in this video. Hey, I wanted to end this video with a big shout out to a few people and just the BDO community in general. Silas and Enviously both helped me learn Sorceress immensely. When I first started playing, I visited their streams all the time and they helped me out. People from their streams and just other random BDO players would come into my stream and just help me out, and it was a big help. So I wouldn't be able to make this video without all those people, so thank you. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you around in my Twitch channel or in my next video. Peace.